Afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from and whatever time it is, welcome to you. I'm going live today on behalf of the National Black MBA Association Chicago chapter, of which I sit on the board as Vice President of Operations. And for anyone that might not be familiar with the organization, we are one of the largest network of Black professionals with over 40 local chapters and 20,000 members across the country. And we're blessed to be able to partner with over 500 corporate, academic, and non-for-profits, which allows us to sustain and continue to bring year-round programming, job opportunities, and the ability to be able to offer over $1 million annually in scholarships. And our mission is simple. We empower visionaries, which is why I am so excited to introduce our newly launched program, SOAR, where each month a member who is an entrepreneur will have an opportunity to spotlight their business, optimize their growth, accelerate their success, and realize their dreams. And our first entrepreneur kicking off the program is a good friend of mine who is the founder and the CEO of Shelby Wine. And we're going to learn a little bit more about Shelby Wine in a moment when I bring her on. But first, I have to share a bit about her. And Regine Rousseau is a wine and spirits expert, a writer, a presenter, and media personality. She focuses on making wine knowledge accessible to people at all levels of proficiency. She is the nominee of 2020 Wine Enthusiast Wine Star Awards, the Wine Educator of the Year, and International Somm Guild Level 2, and Executive Bourbon Steward, Stave, and Thief. Regine has traveled around the globe sharing her wine and spirits expertise. She has authored or been featured in articles in The New Yorker, The Wine Enthusiast, Black Enterprise, Black Food and Beverage, The Wine Spectator, and The Zoe Report, and Forbes and the Chicago Tribune. So please join me in welcoming our May entrepreneur, Miss Regine T. Rousseau.
All right.
So,
Can you please wait? Can you send that to me so I can listen to that every morning? I need that. I need to wake up to that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Madame Rousseau, bonjour, ça va?
Oh, bonjour. Je ne savais pas que tu parles français. Très bien.
Okay, we got to cut it off right there because I only know enough to get me in trouble and enough cuss words. But I had to let the audience know just how deep we're going today and that this is not amateur hour, okay?
It's not. It's real talk.
So welcome and thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited to have you on with us today and to be highlighting your company and you especially.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. And I am really honored to be a part of this program. So I love kicking it off.
Perfect. So Shelby Wine, there's a unique story here. So tell us about Shelby Wine. What is it? How did it get started and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so, it was born out of my passion for wine. So I know, don't be shocked. I started in the wine business back in, my goodness, 1997, 98, which is, you know what? I saw that face.
Wow. So you were 5 and drinking from the bottle.
Yes,
Okay, I gotcha.
But I was selling wine for a local distributor. And what I quickly figured out, I was selling business to business, so restaurants and retail shops. But what I found that really excited me about wine was when I was turning a consumer onto a new wine. And so my friends were very happy, as they are today, because I was constantly opening bottles and saying, try this, try that. And really that's when Shelby Wine developed in my mind. That's when I got really excited because I felt like I was opening up a world to the people in my life that they had no access to. So that's, became a passion project. And then fast forward to 2013, and I know you'll probably want to go deeper. I relaunched the brand and focused on marketing, experiential marketing for wine and spirit brands.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So you've been at this for a while, and I
Yes.
mean, it's pretty amazing. What what was it that prompted you to do this? What was the why behind? You know what? There's something here that I have to pursue this.
Yeah, so there was a gap in my wine career. So I left the industry in 2001. So I went into pharmaceutical sales and worked for a medical device company, also worked for a litigation consulting firm. So between 2001 and 2013, when I relaunched Shall We Wine, I spent a lot of time learning about marketing, learning about sales, and really developing myself as a professional. So, but during that time, even when I was in another industry, I couldn't get the wine business out of my mind, right? So it's not that I was sitting at home drinking wine, which I was,
Of
but
course.
I felt like there was something that I was supposed to do in the business, but it took me a while to really put it together. So I don't know. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely, it does. Definitely. So I understand. So you right now have, is it just business to business, or do you also serve consumer as well?
Yeah, that is what's interesting and maybe a little complicated about Shall We Wine. So we have a business to business component, and what that looks like today is we're a marketing company. So we have brands that come to us and they say, we're looking to expand, we're looking to grow our reach. And so my team and I, we develop different programs for them. So prior to COVID, the program looked like in-person demos. So we were the people that you saw at Binny's, Mariano's, demoing wines. We were the people that went into corporations and did wine dinners and wine classes. So today we still do all those things, but we do them virtually. So that's
Okay.
our business to business side. The business to consumer is we have a membership site where we actually teach people about wines. We put on virtual events with various brands, wine and spirits brands, to educate consumers about wine and spirits. So those are the two arms. We do the same thing, but we do it a little bit differently, whether it's for a corporate client or for a consumer client.
Okay, that makes sense. Is there a lot of intersectionality there, or are they just two totally different things? Do you find that you'll find that you're getting some of your clients from the membership site attending your corporate events, and then they say, "Hey, I want to learn more."
You know what? It's actually been separate. It's two very different groups. However, my members really helped me stay in business. When COVID hit, March 11th, I was going to have the strongest year ever. March 11th, 2020. By March 13th, zero. My book of business was completely gone. And I put on my first virtual event March 25th, I believe it was. And all of those people that came to those events, they were really responsible for saying, oh, my company could use your services. And they were really the ones that put me on, right? They really
Hmm.
connected me to the event planners, the HR professionals, and that's how I got a lot of the initial corporate gigs that I did.
Okay. So, being an entrepreneur, I know that there are so many things that's been thrown at you at any different time. What would you say is the one biggest thing as a business owner and entrepreneur that keeps you up at night?
Um, you know, the answers might surprise you. What keeps me up is not achieving my full potential. That's what scares me. So I'm not worried about the income. I'm not worried about building the team. What I'm worried about is knowing how much this business can do and not doing everything that I can in order to achieve that. Like that scares the heck out of me. That's what keeps me up. It's like, are you doing everything that you can do to drive this business for it to become the business that you can grow it to be? So that's what I'm afraid of.
It makes sense. That definitely makes
Yeah.
sense. And,
I
having
want to
said
ask you
that,
that question, but I'll ask you later.
too many things keep me up at night, I can tell you that.
Right.
One of the big things that you say that keeps you up at night is not living up to your full potential. And entrepreneurs have so many things being thrown at them because they technically are the jack of all trades, and they usually are a master at one or two. How do you build a business on a daily basis if that's your main focus and that keeps you up at night? How do you prioritize? What's your life like in the day?
So I can't remember where, like where I read this, but the first thing I do every day is what brings me profit in terms of how I structure my day, right? So I focus on the things that are going to bring income into the business. It's a business. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Okay.
Amen.
As the great philosopher would say, this is not a hobby. So that's my number one thing. What is generating income for the business? Who do I need to call? Who do I need to follow up with? And you said something really interesting. I know where my strengths are, and I know how to hire people to help me where I am not strong. So one of the things that I've learned, with six, seven, we're in an eighth year now in business, is building a team. So I do have a team, and I do have a team that takes care of the places where I'm not strongest. And that really has saved me. And even during COVID, like I went like crazy with marketing. A lot of businesses were like, I can't spend money on marketing. I went harder with marketing. I hired a digital marketing team because I thought if I was going to save this business, I needed not just to have a new stream of income, great mug, by the way, but I also needed to have new customers. So, yeah, but to answer your question, I really focus on what's generating money. I focus on my team and really having people around me who can take care of the things that I don't have the time or honestly the talent to take care of. I can't, I'm not great at everything. I know you think
No.
I am, but I'm not.
No, I definitely get that. And I can only imagine how much time it saves you to be able to understand that, hey, you know what, I'm not great at this. Let me hire someone that is and cut that time in half. When you talk about making a commitment in one area, and I am sure that at some point there was a crossroad for you where you said, hey, I've got something here. I've got a brand, I'm building it. What was that fork in the road that made you say, you know what, I'm throwing it all in. I'm betting on Regine T. Rousseau, and I'm going to make this thing happen.
Wow. When I returned to Shelby Wine in 2013, and I decided that I was going to become a full-time entrepreneur, there have been many moments where I thought, girl, get you a job, right? Because it's not, it's not easy. It really is not easy,
You like
especially
living indoors and eating and all that
I
good stuff.
do. I really do. If you can see behind me, I love champagne. And there were some very scary moments, right? But to answer your question, there are still scary moments. But I really believe in what I'm doing. And every time I had one of those moments where I thought, is it time to call it quits? I refocused on the dream and I refocused on the business, right? And it's, don't get me wrong, it's not an easy thing to do. I'm not saying that, every morning I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, everything is peachy. It's not. But I believe in what I'm doing. I know that I'm helping other businesses. There are businesses who depend on my business, right? To get more clients, to get more visibility. So those are some of the things that help me to keep moving forward. And also, to be honest with you, like I write my own paycheck, right?
Hmm.
So there is a satisfaction in
Can you
that.
write me one if you don't?
I got you. I got you. And and I think when you're on this journey, you have to create these small goals, right? The first couple of years I didn't write my own paycheck. I had a part-time consulting gig, and that really paid the bills while I was building the business. So I am proud to say that, yep, I sign my own checks and I'm able to sustain myself. And all of those small steps help me, to keep going on. I have big dreams, big plans for the business, and I'm committed to keep pushing until, there's nothing else to push. So,
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Um, so, being a member of the National Black MBA Association, obviously you are the face behind the brand. So, your fellow members want to know a little something, something about you. So, we're going
oh,
to get a little personal here and see what we can
oh,
uncover.
okay.
I won't go too personal, but what is what's your favorite quote and why?
Wow, favorite quote. So on my personal Instagram page, I share a lot of quotes. Every other post is a quote, but the one that came to mind, and maybe if you'd asked me this yesterday or tomorrow, it would be different. But the first one that came to mind is a quote by Zora Neale Hurston. It says, "Sometimes people discriminate against me. It doesn't bother me. It nearly astonishes me. How can you deny yourself the pleasure of my company? It's beyond me." I love that.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that? And I remembered it, and I think it's just, yeah, it's so good because you're like, what? You're denying me? You're discriminating
Like,
against me?
what? And anyone that knows your personality, that quote is so you. It is so much you.
I love that question.
So, if you had to be able to jump on a plane tomorrow, cash is not an issue, and you can just go anywhere you wanted to. Where would you go?
Wow, anywhere I wanted to. Honestly, cash is not a problem. I would go to Haiti. So the last time I was in Haiti was 8 years ago, and I went with my mom. So I grew up in Haiti, and so I would take my mom on this plane, and I would do what we did 8 years ago, which was we visited family. But I took my mom to places in Haiti, even though that's where she was born and grew up. She had never been before. So there are so many parts of the island that I haven't visited. So I would go home and I would just be a tourist and buy art and go to all these different places that I haven't seen yet.
Having seen your mom in places that she had not seen in Haiti, in your homeland, what was that experience like?
You know what, Israel Green? Don't be trying to make me cry up in this. I'm not ready for tears, Israel Green. It was one of the most satisfying moments of my life because I know that if I didn't push her to do it, she would not have. I mean, she would have gone and visited my aunt. She would have gone to, my grandmother's house, which we still have there. But I did what for her what she's done for me. I opened up a new world to her, for her, to her. And yeah, that was incredible to see. My mom and I have taken some great trips together, but that's been the best one. I'm
Great.
so mad at you. I'm so mad at you right now.
Thank you for sharing that moment. We definitely appreciate it. I'm sure the readers and the viewers will appreciate it as well. And this is part of why we do what we do as entrepreneurs is to be able to create those special moments and opportunities that we didn't have access to always. So to be able to do that and have that as a memory, I love that experience. So thank you very much for sharing that.
Well, I want to add that I think that that's what my business does especially from the consumer side.
Hmm.
When you get into wine and spirits and you really get into it, you are creating memories. You're accessing a different world, a different country, a different region. And so that is like a big part of who I am and what my business is about. So, yeah.
Nice. And I know that you have taught me so much about wine and spirits, and my bank
You
account
drink a
is
lot.
much, my bank account is much, much lighter because of you, unfortunately.
This is what I do.
So, if you had one major takeaway that you wanted your guests to know, what would it be? Or
My
even
guess,
a budding entrepreneur?
keep pushing. Don't give up. Because the satisfaction of going one step further, one step closer to your dream, it's all worth it. So if I was going to share one thing, that I would say that. But let me add one more thing. Um, be strategic about everything that you do. I feel like that has saved me. I'm in the business where people think it's all fun and games, and it's great. I love what I do. I'm so lucky to be able to drink wine and travel and, write about wine, and it's all good. But it's a business. So whatever business you're in, for me, it's all about strategy. It's all about planning. It's all about knowing what the next move is going to be. So those are the advice that I would give to any entrepreneur. Don't give up, and plan, work your plan.
Yeah. I always say that I have a system and a formula that I apply, and you and I talk about this a great deal. I
Mhm.
look at everything from a systematic point of view. And for me, I believe that having systems in place, it doesn't necessarily guarantee success, but it does increase the likelihood of being successful. So
Absolutely.
anytime that you can do it that way, it's always best.
Yep, absolutely.
So as we get ready to wrap up, where
Mhm.
what is the process to do business with you? So
Okay.
if it was a client, what does that look like?
So, corporate client or consumer, if you go to our website, shallwewine.com, there's an intake form. So you could send me an email and say, hey, Regine, I have a corporate event for 50 of my employees. Let's chat about what you can do. I also have a link to my schedule, so you can schedule a time for us to talk, and we can tell you about all of our different options. So that's number one. Same thing as if you're a consumer and you want to have a party, virtual event for some friends, you can use the same form. The other place to find me is on all social media platform, but especially Instagram. I'm at Shall We Wine. And can I make a plug right now?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. I am so close to 5,000 followers on Instagram. So if you're listening, I need your help. 5,000, 5. Please go to at Shall We Wine on
Follow,
Instagram.
follow, 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 follow.
Give me a follow and help me reach my goal.
Definitely. I am sure you will definitely have some followers and fans after this.
Awesome.
Regine, it has been such a pleasure. Thank you for being our first entrepreneur to be highlighted in the SOAR series. And I wish you nothing but success.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for the opportunity. I wish I had some wine and I could be like, cheers.
Hey, actually, so wait, before we go, what is
Oh, yeah.
your two favorite bottles behind you? I know that's
Oh,
difficult.
this is easy. This is
Okay.
easy. Um, Brancaya Il Blue 2016 from Tuscany. It's amazing. About $80. You will not be disappointed. Grab that. And then so many champagnes that I love. But let me introduce you to this. This is Keusch, Keusch. You can't see it very well because of the lighting, but this is a sparkling wine from Armenia. We are doing an event June 11th. It is a free event. So if you go to the website tomorrow, the event will be up. You can join us. You can taste this wine, and you can learn about wines from Armenia. So June 11th.
I love that. And what is the price point on that one?
This is only about between $20 and $23 if you're in Chicago, Binny's. But this is also, you can go to their website and purchase it. If you wait till tomorrow when the event is up, they're providing free shipping. So that would be great.
I love it. Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You are
All
so
right.
welcome.
And I will actually, I think I'm going to jump on your event tomorrow.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, Regine.
You're welcome. See you soon.